Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Mr. President and members of the board. I'm going to give you a relatively brief update on the high-capacity transit plan. I'm going to start with a little bit of context. Feel free to stop me with questions at any point because it's very easy to fall into acronyms and details and whatnot. I'll try not to do that. For context, the regional transportation plan is something that Metro heads up and is required to be updated every 4 years by the federal government. We're a part of it, transit is part of it, every mode is part of it, and it's part of how it's determined how federal funds can flow to projects. About every 4 years it needs to be updated. The last really big update was in 2000. So this new update that's coming up that is planned to be accepted by the end of the year and then adopted in the middle of 2010 is the next sort of big update that includes some substantial new thinking about how to look at the regional transportation plans. One of the things that's new is the inclusion of a component called the high-capacity transit plan. It's the first time in a while that we've kind of taken a step back and, for lack of a better metaphor, thrown the spaghetti on the map and seen what sticks. And you'll see in a moment why I describe it that way. We have had a high-capacity transit plan in the region that was developed actually in the 70s and 80s about where we should make connections. As the Region 2040 vision grew, we started to develop some rules of thumb like connect regional centers with the central city with rail. That's where high-capacity transit should go. This process was about taking a step back and using a very technically focused analysis, understand, well, where are people wanting high-capacity transit to go, and two, how does it perform when you actually test it? So if you look at the map that's in front of you, the one with all the colors, this is the outcome of the analysis. There were actually twice as many lines on the map that came out of a series of public discussions with electeds across the region, with members of the public, school groups, all kinds of groups in many different forms, including public open houses, to determine what areas wanted to be tested. And among the many tools that Metro used for this, one of the fun ones was this other piece of paper that has the kind of stick figure map on it. It's the Build a System tool, which was a web-based tool that allowed the public to log on and build their preferred system. It gave them a capital and operating cost budget limit. It gave them what kind of results they would see in ridership and in terms of environmental benefit from that. And they were able to save the system or many systems, and then based on what they learned from doing that, then they were asked to fill out a survey about what was important to them, what they had learned from it, what they thought was important to see in a long-range high-capacity transit plan. The system is still up on the web and running. If you're interested, the website's at the bottom. So to return to the map, these plus all of the other lines were put into a very technical analysis process that looked at things like land use densities and mixes, the existence of major destinations like hospitals or colleges or places like that, how it would integrate with the existing system, and a number of other measures, and pass through a first screen, which resulted in the lines that were left on here. And then these lines were put into another series of measures that included regional travel demand modeling, which is how, for instance, we come up with the ridership estimates for the Milwaukee market. Each of these was run in combinations that would not confuse the other, and each of these was scored then based on the ridership analysis, based on aspirations for the local jurisdictions for future development, based on connections to the 2040 regional vision for how the region should develop. And the result of that was a process of tiering these high-capacity transit lines into 4 tiers. So the top tier would be those that performed best, that were most likely to be developed in the near term. You can see the 4 different tiers on the map. The ones highlighted in green are the top tier, also known as near-term regional priority corridors, and then next phase, and then developing, and then regional vision following down in terms of the level of their performance. We did not obviously pass through lines that were in existence or under development, so all of our existing lines, including the Green Line, the Milwaukee Line, and the Lake Oswego Line, were not tested. They were assumed to be done already. We did pass through the West Line to test how it would do in all-day service, and that turned out to be one of the top-tier lines. The three to focus on those that performed the best were 1, the Barber 99W Pacific Highway line, 2, the Powell line, and then 3, the West upgrade or increase in service to all-day service. I think it's a testament to the West line that it did well if it were increased to all-day service, but the determination was, and we agreed with this, that it should be, we should let the West perform for a while and see how it does before we try to do anything to it. We certainly should consider converting it to light rail given the cost and other considerations of doing that anytime soon.